welcome back, everyone. Money Show would like to welcome the staff of Vantage Point AI. Vantage Point AI has been featured on NASDAQ, CNN Money, and Fox Business as an artificial intelligence expert company. Vantage Point AI pioneered and has been perfecting the use of artificial intelligence technology for the financial markets for nearly 30 years. So, Daniel, welcome. Thank you for being here. It's all yours.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's always nice to be able to work with the Money Show and get the opportunity to help as many traders and investors find ways to maximize what they're doing in the financial markets. As you can see from the slide on the screen, we're going to be reviewing how to predict market trends 1 to 3 days in advance. We're going to be doing that with artificial intelligence. So I'm excited to be here. I always enjoy talking with Money Show and the people that either that we would see in person or these virtual events are always great as well. This will be an interactive session, so make sure you know how to get to your questions box, if you will, please. It's in your the control panel. If there's like an orange rectangle with a white arrow in it, that's the control panel where you can write in questions, and I have my eye on the questions box, so I will answer them as quickly as I can. Everybody is muted, as you probably already know from the presentations going on earlier. So I'll do my best to keep an eye on that questions box and make sure I can address any questions that come up. And by all means, please, as they come up, let me know, and I'll if I see them, I will answer them the best that I can. First, before we get going, let me just make sure we're all on the same page. Trading is hard, right? Surprise, surprise. Investing in the financial markets isn't easy. Even with Vantage Point, even with this technology, traders lose money. It's something like 90% of traders aren't making money in the financial market. So I just want to make sure we're on the same page that it's hard. And we're going to be going over some actual trends in the markets, some simulated trades, possibly some results from users. This is all information to help you understand how to use this technology. Right, their results aren't necessarily going to be your results. Those trades are definitely not going to be the exact same trades that you're taking. But my job here is to show you how to predict market trends 1 to 3 days in advance with incredible accuracy using artificial intelligence. But this is not a crystal ball, right? There's no such thing as a perfect trade or no losing trades. Right, it's not a silver bullet. This is a way to give you an edge and help you be a more successful investor, a more successful trader. This is me. If you look at the screen, I'm like a lot of people in this room right now. I'm a father, a husband. I'm excited for this weekend. We're celebrating Father's Day. We're going to take the boat out and hang out on the water as a family. I've got an extensive corporate background. I got about 22, 23 years in the financial markets. I've done several of these sessions live, so I may have met you live before, and if I have, nice to get a chance to work with you again. A lot of people see me as an AI trading mentor and coach and an international speaker because I spend my time helping traders understand how to predict market trends 1 to 3 days in advance using artificial intelligence. That's what I do day in and day out, and I love it. Absolutely love it. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to help you on that front as well. Now, usually when I say I'm going to show you how to predict trends 1 to 3 days in advance, people say and it's a common reaction, it's a regular reaction, but they say prove it, right? Give me some proof. If that's you, if you just had that thought of, yeah, okay, you forecast trends 1 to 3 days in advance, prove it. Give me a little prove it in the questions box. Just write prove it or proof or whatever it is that you want to write to let me know that you're here, that you're engaged, and you want to see how to forecast trends 1 to 3 days in advance, because that'll tell me that we've got some people in the room that are interested in seeing this information and using this information to your advantage. Is that you? Right? Are you somebody that is skeptical about the ability to do that? Or maybe you don't know about artificial intelligence in detail, or maybe you're just finding out about artificial intelligence. Whatever the case is, it's everywhere. Right? There's traders across the globe that are using it, investing in it, and have been for decades. The technology I'm going to show you has been available since 1991, right? It's been in the markets and people have been using it, and there's probably people on this call that have it. Okay, so John, thank you, Ralph, David, Vernice, KK, Mark, Aldo, Michael, you guys all said prove it. Somebody said, Michael said AI scares me a little bit, right? Yeah, when people don't understand what AI can do, it can be scary. We think of the Terminator. We think about, we think about blue glowing robots taking things over, right? Johnny, I appreciate that. David, you guys are all on the same page. Okay, good. So we've got some people out there that want to see what this can do. Well, let me show you a couple of things really quick. This is an actual forecast from the artificial intelligence that indicated a trend reversal in the Dow on February 21st, right? February 21st. These are exactly the forecasts that people were using to understand that things were starting to head south in advance. They're able to avoid an incredible downturn. Everybody knows what happened there, the coronavirus crash. Or here, DocuSign, the forecast in DocuSign at the beginning of March of this year, indicating an incredible uptrend. We're going to look at this one today as a team as we go through this. Or the drop in oil prior to the oil war was forecasted on January 10th with the artificial intelligence. So I think you guys can see this. We'll do everything that we can to help you understand how this works. Don't worry, that's going to be my job to walk you through step by step. But before we get to that, before we get to the artificial intelligence and what it's doing, I want to introduce you to the founder of our organization. If you look at your screen right now on the right, that's Louis Mendelsohn. He's the founder of our company. He's a best-selling author. He studied at Carnegie Mellon. You may have heard his name before. He created the first strategy backtesting software for traders back in 1979. Now, he moved away from that in the late 80s after Black Monday and started using artificial intelligence in his personal trading. As a matter of fact, I think he was on CNN FN, which was, I think, CNN Money Before Money. And he was talking about using artificial intelligence on TV in the early 90s, right? And yes, Simon, it does work on currencies. We can walk through that a little bit as well. And if anybody has a question that I don't get an answer, I don't get a chance to answer as we go through this, anybody can put their phone number into the questions box, and I will make sure to have somebody on my team reach out to you and answer your question directly, just in the case that I miss it. And that's at any time, just in case you're wondering, at any time you can do that. Now, I was telling you about Louis Mendelsohn. He's on the right. On the left, that is Lane Mendelsohn. That's his son and our president. He's a financial analyst, an expert. He has been on Fox Business, CNN Money, CNBC, NASDAQ, Yahoo Finance, being interviewed about the artificial intelligence. And, we're talking about real credibility here. We're a second-generation family-owned organization that has done nothing but help traders become more successful through the help of analysis, technical analysis, artificial intelligence analysis, and we'll dig into that into some detail. But first, Lane couldn't be here, so I want to kind of introduce you to him. I've got this video that I want to play for you so that you can understand where we've been, what we've done, and how we're helping traders and investors like you. All right. Let me just get the sound going, right? Make sure you can hear it okay.
Lane Mendelsohn's company has developed a way to transform the lives of people.
Lane Mendelsohn, the president of Vantage Point Software.
Lane Mendelsohn.
Lane Mendelsohn.
Lane Mendelsohn, president of Vantage Point AI. Joining me in the studio today is Lane Mendelsohn, and with me today, Lane Mendelsohn, the president of Vantage Point AI.
Your artificial intelligence software was able to predict the January market drop.
Your company forecasted that the tech stocks erased all the gains for the year.
What's the criteria you use at Vantage Point when you look at a stock?
We're doing a very advanced form of pattern recognition using artificial intelligence. My company's been involved with artificial intelligence for 30 years. This is the future. You're talking about thousands and thousands of data points being analyzed every single day. A human could not do this. If you're not analyzing all of those other factors, you're not seeing the full picture. To really gain an edge in today's global markets, you have to have a global approach.
Vantage Point Software 的主席 Len， 那他和我们一起分享一下股票投资。
It's all about having the odds in your favor. Our focus is the technology. In the last 10 years, we've spent over $10 million in research and development, developing the technology. We actually have been forecasting the retail stocks to go up for about a week now. A couple of days ago, we said tech stocks were going to start to go up, and look what today happened. I mean, the Dow had a tremendous day today. Our philosophy is if we can't predict it with a very high degree of accuracy, why bother? There are so many other stocks that we can forecast with such a high degree of accuracy.
And one of the things that I like about you personally, Lane, is that you really are a family guy.
I think that it's most important that, that you spend time with family, you teach values. My daughter knows all of our core values for our company, and the first one is integrity. We're going to continue to refine, develop, and make this product so that everybody in the world who wants to have financial freedom can easily benefit from it.
All right, fantastic. That's Lane Mendelsohn, and that's our organization. So, as you can see, we've been at this quite some time. Michael had a comment. He said he's been watching a lot of different trading strategies and money shows, saying everybody says they have the best. And Michael, there's a lot of great things out there, absolutely, and everybody should say that theirs is the best. What we've got to look at is, what is it doing? Is it doing something different? Is it doing something that makes sense? As a matter of fact, that's the question that I want everybody to ask yourselves as I go through this session is what I'm saying makes sense? Is what I'm showing you, does it make sense? Is it something that you can see helping? If that's the case, then you think I would say you probably found something that can help you. Now, the question is, how are we using artificial intelligence? And that's normally the question, because there's a lot of companies out there. I think the S&P 500 has spent like $50 billion on artificial intelligence technology. So how are we using it? We're using it to look at the markets from a global perspective. Would anybody disagree with me if I said what you're trading and you're investing in is being influenced by factors all around the world? Would you disagree with that? If you do, that's okay. Use the questions box and just comment and let me know that you disagree with that. And it's okay to disagree. We don't all have to agree about the same thing all the time, but let's just make sure that we're on the same page at least. Okay, I don't have anybody disagreeing with that. So we're all on the same page then. We agree that what happens around the world influences the markets that we're trading. So then the question I have for you is, what tools, what indicators, or what information is taking all of that into account that you're using right now? Because if you really take a hard look, a critical look about the tools that are giving you the information about entry and exit and opportunities, you'll probably find that the tools you're using today are completely ignoring the fact that we all agreed on. The markets are global, the markets are interconnected. And what's happening in one market influences and impacts another market, another stock, another currency. Let me give you some examples really quick of what we're talking about. Look at the screen right now, and I have a chart for AMD and the E-mini NASDAQ on screen. And it would make sense to everybody that, E-mini NASDAQ and AMD, I mean, these look like twin charts, right? A tech stock and an index. They when one goes up, the other goes up. When one goes down, the other goes down. And you can see that. These are real charts. That's because these have a relationship, right? They have a correlated relationship. They have a parallel relationship. Whatever it is you want to call it, when one goes up, the other goes up. And by the way, for those of you taking notes, this is something that you can look at on your own. AMD and the NASDAQ. If you're going to get a position on AMD, you should probably go see whether or not the NASDAQ gives you that same confidence, at a minimum, the confidence to pull the trigger on that position, right? There's a parallel relationship. Now, here's another one, financial sector ETF and Bank of America. When you think about that, the financial sector ETF and Bank of America take the same track at the same time. Hugh, you said you're missing something. Are people actually communicating with the presenter in another box? No, Hugh, the box you just wrote that question in, I'm reading it, and I can answer any questions you have. I'm happy to interact with you. When you look at the screen that I have up right now, you can see that when the financial sector went up, Bank of America went up. So for those of you that like Bank of America or maybe XLF, you should probably check the other one out to see if you get the same position, if you will. You don't have to take the position. This is about garnering confidence in the trend. You can see that very easily on the screen. These are called parallel relationships. Well, we know that the markets are global, right? We know that there's parallel relationships out there, but that's not all. Some of them are inverse relationships, like the S&P 500 and gold, right? Yeah, exactly, David. David said obvious. Absolutely. But you got to ask yourself, if it's so obvious, why are the technical analysis tools and the indicators you're using today and the information that you're using today, why do they ignore what is just so obvious? That the markets are global, interconnected, there's parallel relationships, and there's inverse relationships. And don't forget, some of the relationships are stronger at one time than another, right? They're directionally biased. Sometimes they push it up, sometimes they push it down. Here's why those tools are ignoring it, is because they don't have the ability to see all of those relationships. And that's exactly how we're using artificial intelligence. The AI in Vantage Point is analyzing all of the markets around the world to figure out what is influencing, what is driving the price of the stocks or the currencies or the indexes or ETFs that you're trying to trade. Because you and I love this picture of this iceberg, you and I can see the relationships that are above the surface, above the waterline very easily, like Bank of America and XLF. We can see that, we know it's there. But what artificial intelligence has the ability to do is see those relationships that are below the waterline, below the surface, where it takes special equipment to see those relationships. And that's where the artificial intelligence excels, because you guys have heard big data before. There's tons and tons of market data out there, open, high, low, close, volume, open interest, all of that information out there in the world. Artificial intelligence can process those data points and then find hidden patterns and relationships, obvious patterns and relationships, both linear and nonlinear, that are influencing what you're trading. And that's how we're using artificial intelligence. Actually, let me show you. I'm going to hop over to the software really quick right now, because I want to show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, if you look at your screen, you should see a screen that has the E-mini NASDAQ on the screen. Actually, let me turn off the artificial intelligence really quickly, because I want to show you what the AI is doing behind the scenes first. I'm literally going to pop the hood on this. This is the NASDAQ, right? That's the candlesticks are end of day data. It comes in from traders only. The data comes from traders only. And there's no hourly data or anything like that. It's all end of day data in the software, and it has the ability to forecast 1 to 3 days in advance. But the reason I'm showing you this is because I want to show you what the AI has figured out is influencing the NASDAQ. Here we go. Let me see if I can make this bigger for you. Yeah, here we go. The software, the AI, has gone out. Serge, you wrote your question in the right spot, my friend. If you have a question, just write it where you wrote that statement. I can see it. The software is going out and analyzing the NASDAQ and all of the markets around the world to figure out what is influencing the NASDAQ. And in this case, you can see things like the full size, you can see the S&P, you can see the technology spider, the Russell, all of that is obvious and makes sense, right? You can also see there's currencies like the US dollar, the euro, the yen, gold. Those are obvious. You know that they're influencing everything you're investing and trading in, like light sweet crude oil or the T-note, right? Interest rates. All of that is influencing what you're trading. The problem is that you don't see it. You don't know how it's influencing it. You don't know if it's a parallel relationship, and you don't know how it's impacting what you're trading. And that's the most important part, is you have no way of turning this into actionable data that artificial intelligence does. Even the ones that don't make sense, like Colgate-Palmolive. Why is that driving the influencing the NASDAQ, or Kellogg, right? When you think about that, the artificial intelligence doesn't care as to why. It cares about the fact that it does have some sort of impact, and what that impact is, meaning does it drive it up, sideways, or down? Just in case you're wondering, this technology, this is called intermarket analysis, and it is patented with the US Patent Office. As a matter of fact, the US Patent Office has awarded us 2 patents, one on this technology, this intermarket analysis that I'm talking about that the AI is doing, and one that turns this into actionable, usable data to predict trends. Michael, I have your phone number, by the way. I didn't tell you earlier, but for anybody that's looking at this and saying, man, I can already see how this would take my trading and my investing to the next level. I have some questions about it, but I can see the benefits here. If anybody is saying that, or answering that question of, does this make sense? You can always put your phone number into the comments box, the questions box, and we'll give you a call after this presentation, and we can answer your questions directly. And you, again, I said earlier, you can do that anytime you want. But looking at this intermarket analysis shows you what's really capable, especially if you have the technology. All right. Okay, let me get this off the screen. Let me hop back into the presentation, because I want to show you, I've popped the hood on the car, but now I want to show you how you're going to turn this into actionable, usable data. All right. So look at the screen right now. There's a chart of Cisco. This is not a Cisco chart in Vantage Point. This is just off a regular charting program. But I want you to look at the top right corner of the screen and tell me if you think Cisco is going to go up, sideways, or down. Right? Look on the right-hand side of the chart and tell me if over the next few days you would expect, by looking at this, for Cisco to go up, sideways, or down? Just in your opinion, by looking at the candlesticks, right? Jim says no clue. I love that answer, Jim. Very honest, right? You looking at that and you're like, I don't know. It's just what's happening, right? This is not what's about to happen. It's what happened. Right. Good, good. Let's see. Ag says intermarket analysis has been there for ages and used. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, John Murphy wrote about the intermarket analysis that we're using here at Vantage Point in his book about intermarket analysis. So you're absolutely right. Andres says, I would bet on up. Okay. Carl says up. Hugh says up. Jay says up. David says sideways. All right. Up, up, sideways, down. Eric says, oh, no, that's not Eric. Who said, I thought I saw a down in there. Michael says he doesn't know, honestly. All right, good. Well, it's not good that you don't know, Michael. It's good that you guys are answering the question because this is what we're talking about. This is where people struggle. This is kind of the tools. Michael's guessing up, right? We don't want to guess, right? Trading isn't about guessing. It's about taking the information you have and making a decision. But people usually ask for me to add some technical indicators, something like Fibonacci or support and resistance or trend lines. Like if you look at the screen right now that has all these indicators on here, you've probably used some of these or one of these or many of these in the past. These are standard technical indicators that people are using in the financial markets. And sometimes they help you make a decision, sometimes they muddy the waters. But regardless, I want you to look at this. Al says down, Monica says down, Candace says up. Aldo says down. So we got a mixed bag. Regardless, I'm going to add some of those indicators to that Cisco chart and say and ask you to look at that again and tell me whether you think up, down, or sideways, because I think that's valuable. And rather than waiting for the answers, let me tell you why I'm asking this. Yep, MACD is on there, David. You can see it. Let me tell you why I'm asking this. There's the MACD. I'm asking this because this is the technical analysis most people are using, and I'm here to tell you that this kind of technical analysis is dead. Right? It doesn't forecast trends. It tells you what has happened, not what's going to happen. And it's ignoring those global relationships that we agreed are influencing the stocks that you're trading. So how do we change that? By using predictive indicators. Take a look at this. There are 4 predictive indicators in the software. The first one is a predicted moving average. That's going to predict the trend 1 to 3 days in advance. It predicts the trend 1 to 3 days in advance. And if you compare a predicted moving average to a simple moving average or an exponential moving average, here's the difference. A simple moving average adds up to 10 days and divides by 10. A predicted moving average takes that global market analysis, figures out the next 3 days, and then uses that to draw the line, making it a predictive line. I'm going to show you that. I'm also going to show you the predicted neural index. When it's green, it's predicting strength, and when it's red, it's predicting weakness. And then I'm going to show you the predictive differences. These are 3 lines that you look at on the screen, number 3, that when they're all parallel pointing up, that's momentum, that's bullish momentum. And when they're all parallel pointing down, that's bearish momentum over the next 1, 2, and 3 days. Carl says it's going to trend up. Okay. Gray, there's also a gray candle. The software predicts the next day's high and low in every chart we're going to look at every single day. All right. Those are the predictive indicators. That's the actionable information in sequence. You look for the crossover, you check the neural index, then you check the predictive differences, and you make your determination by looking at that gray candle. So let's do that. Why don't we? Let's go and see if we can get total confirmation by looking at these trends. I am going to flip back to the NASDAQ. There we go. I'm going to turn on the artificial intelligence so that we can look at those things. And I am going to just walk through the NASDAQ to show you when the software predicted the downtrend on February 21st. You can see the blue line went from above to below. The black line in the shaded area on the left-hand side of the screen went from green to red. If I follow my dotted line down, you can see the neural index is red, and you can see those 3 lines are pointing down on February 21st. So we had total confirmation that this trend was expected to reverse over the next 3 days, and we know what happened over the next 3 days, over the next 5 days before anything had any bullishness. And you can see what happened to the NASDAQ from that point to that point, right? Major downtrend, lost 20% until Vantage Point forecasted the trend right here on this day, March 25th, to go up over the next 1 to 3 days. It's all end of day data, Simon, all end of day data. All right, so the blue line crossed above. Follow my dotted line, folks. The neural index is green and the predictive differences are parallel and pointing up, saying I have total confirmation this trend is expected to go up and it has not changed course yet. That's March 25th to today, June 18th, and forecasted to continue going up over the next day or two. That's just a 33% gain in 58 trading days. I've got 5 contracts for you futures traders out there. I'll just back it down to 1. That's a $50,000 profit in one trade at the simulated trade that we're looking at right here if you're trading one contract, right? By using those predictive indicators. By using that global market analysis, you can see how this quickly indicates the trend reversals, and with confidence you can make decisions, more actionable, usable decisions quickly, right? I told you I was going to show you DocuSign. Here is the uptrend forecasted in DocuSign back on March 20th. We're going to walk through this step by step. The blue line crossed above. The neural index was green. The predictive difference is all pointing up. And since then, we have not had total confirmation on any reversal, even to the closing bell of yesterday. And if you go check DocuSign today, I would imagine based on this forecasted information, the blue line is above the black line. It's probably up today. That is 102% gain in 61 trading days by getting early indication of that trend change. Here's wheat and precious metal. Blue line crossed above back here on March 24th. That was a key date if you can't tell. The artificial intelligence indicated on that day a lot of things were expected to start going up. And on WPM, on 5/26, exactly 2 months later, it said, all right, that's a good profit-taking opportunity. This trend is expected to start going down. Had you taken profits on something like that, that's about a 58% profit in 44 trading days. That is more than 1% a day on wheat and precious metals, right? And then for those of you that like to short the market or buy puts, you could turn right around and do the very same thing and just go crossover to crossover. Guys, the great thing about this is it's wash, rinse, repeat. You don't have to create anything. You use the same indicators the same way every single time. They either all agree that this thing's going to go down over the next few days, or they all agree that it's going to go up. And if they don't all agree, that is a higher risk opportunity and not forecasted with this kind of accuracy, right? There's a lot of day traders that use this. Yes, Teresa, absolutely. All right, now look, just 3 days ago, the software said WPM was expected to start going up on 6/15, saying this downtrend is over and an uptrend is predicted. And since then, it's gone up, and I'd be willing to bet based on this that it is up today. You can check out WPM in your platform if you want to and see if it's up, see if this is right or wrong. But I'm walking through this because I want you to see that it is not difficult. It's wash, rinse, repeat once you know how to read the indicators, okay? Blue line crossed above here on big lots on 3/24, everything lined up, everything agreed. And if we just go crossover to crossover and we see what the software forecasted from the beginning of the forecast to the end, you can see it on the screen. It's 155% profit in 52 trading days, right? And it forecasted a downtrend right here saying, you know what, this is a trend that's expected to go down. The blue line stayed below the black line. It's come up, it's touched the black line, but it hasn't crossed, saying, you know what, this trend is not expected to reverse yet. And big lots is down almost 5% today. So that's exactly what happened. How did the AI know? Because it's doing intermarket analysis. That's how. Brandon's asking about managing stops with that predicted high and predicted low, Brandon. You can look on the right-hand side of the screen. And as a matter of fact, if I zoom in a little bit on this, you can see where the blue line is below the black line. It hasn't crossed yet. You'd set your stop loss somewhere above that predicted high to protect yourself to the upside, because you got to minimize your downside risk, right, and maximize your upside potential. Use that predicted candle to check that out, right? So we're all on the same page. So somebody checked out WPM. I've got WPM pulled up over here, and it looks like I got a 3-cent gain. Maybe it's wiped out by now, but I see a 3-cent gain on WPM. All right, here's the key, guys. The way you interpret this is the same regardless of what market it is that you're looking at, and that's the real beauty in the software. Currencies, futures. We looked at a future. We looked at the NASDAQ. Stocks, ETFs, The artificial intelligence is forecasting all of those exactly the same. So you can hop from asset class to asset class with this technology. All right. Now let me show you guys what we're doing for everybody here so that we can get you going, because I know I've got about a minute or so. We put a package together where everybody can get the access to the Vantage Point software. You can get access to all of the asset classes in the software for 3 weeks. And then at the end of 3 weeks, you get to pick one sector of your choice. We're going to give you, and there's 15 US stock sectors. I would suggest the technology sector because there's over 200 individual stock forecasts just in that sector alone. We're going to give you a quick start guide, and we are going to give you access to Vantage Point University, which has group coaching sessions every month. It has 20 on-demand videos, as well as bi-weekly market updates and information, as well as we're going to assign you a software coach to help you maximize the use of Vantage Point for the way that you trade. And we're putting this package together for everybody so that you can get started with it right through this money show. You can put your phone number into the chat box. You can reach out to us online or give us a call. The best way to do it is put your phone number right in the chat box so we can call you and answer any direct questions you have. Because look at this chart for Cisco. Before we said we were unsure whether it was going to go up, sideways, or down. The blue line's crossing below. The neural index turned red. The predictive differences are pointing down. Take a look at the chart. Look at what's happening with Cisco. It went down. Everybody can see that. And you would have avoided a 10% drawdown. I think you guys can see that now. Very easy to see. So here's the package we put together for everybody. Remember what I said is you're going to get the software license for one sector for 1 year. You're going to get Vantage Point University. You're going to get that expert coaching. That package is valued at $5,685. But for you guys in this webinar, for anybody that takes advantage of this right through this event, by putting your phone number in the questions box, we're going to do it for $14.97. So for less than you put into a trade in a lot of cases, I know how you guys trade, you can get access to this information and these predictive indicators for 1 full year. The only ongoing investment for this is for the data that comes in from traders only. That's $35 a month. You pay them $1 a day to get that global market data. Brendan, I've got your phone number. Thank you. And Galen, I've got your phone number as well. Guys, this is the opportunity for you to get started using the artificial intelligence. Let it prove itself out to you over the next year. For an investment of $14.97, that makes it a pretty easy decision. And I know you guys always wonder, has it been tested? Has it been proven? Traders World, Traders Magazine, Stocks and Commodities, Market Technicians Association, Your Trading Edge has done study and used this in real market conditions for 3-4 years at a time, reinforcing the ability to forecast the trends, right? So this is your opportunity to get this package at a substantial discount because you spent the time with me today. You put Vasant, you put your phone number and I got it. Ags, your phone number. Yo, I've got your phone number as well. And anybody else that wants to take advantage of this and get this low packaging and get access to this AI that's patented, by all means, we're here to help. If you just have a question, we'll just answer your question. Whatever it is you need to do to understand how this can help you in your trading and investing, right? I know I went over a minute or two. I apologize for that, but if anybody has any last minute questions, I can answer them. Otherwise, I want to thank the Money Show. I want to thank you guys for your time. I want to thank you for your interaction. And I appreciate the opportunity to give you an edge and give you the ability to be more successful as a trader. Have a great day, everybody.
All right, Daniel, thank you so much for that presentation. Always great speaking with you, and Tabitha as well. We hope to hear from you very shortly in the future.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.